Friends, we are going to learn about the concept or theory of social action. This is part of Civil Services Syllabus Sociology Paper 1, Section 4C. Before starting, I just want to share with you 3 points. One, these things which we are going to learn has not been taken from some guidebook. These points have been taken from the original text, original theory, original writings of Max Weber. Secondly, here I have mentioned all the things point wise. So if a question comes, the candidate may take each point and one can elaborate these point in his or her own words. And they are around 10-15 points, and if they are all explained, all elaborated, then one can write them in either 200 words, 400 words, even 600 words. They can be expanded. I would again emphasize that they have all been taken from the original text of Max Weber, socialist Max Weber. So let us start with social action. The first point is that for Weber, social action is the central fact of sociology's scientific analysis. For Max Weber, social action is something which is central to his whole sociology. His whole sociology, all his theories are actually built upon the concept of social action. He says that this is the central thing. Next point is that how do Max Weber define sociology? When we read definition of sociology, we find that sociology is actually a study of social action. Let us see his definition. He says that sociology is a science which attempts interpretative understanding of social action. So sociology is a science which attempts interpretative understanding of social action. So when we see the dictionary meaning of interpretation, interpretative, then this word is connected with explanation, explain. Sociology is a science which tries to actually explain the social action of an individual. So if a person is doing, suppose if he is cycling, then we would want to know that where is he going, why he is cycling. He might be going to bring vegetable, to visit a religious place, or to visit a friend, etc., etc. So his cycling is not just an act of cycling, but there is some goal, there is some purpose, and there is some meaning behind his action. And what is the work of sociologist? The work of sociologist is to arrive at a causal explanation of its course and effect. So that is the definition of sociology according to Max Weber. Meaning thereby, social action is something which defines sociology itself for Max Weber. So let us move forward and see action, how social action, how Max Weber defines. He says that social action would include human behavior, and second point in the definition is to which an actor attaches a subjective meaning. A behavior is done, performed by an actor, and the actor would perform some meaning to that action. Like if I'm going riding a cycle, I'm going to a garden, a park for jogging. So there is this act of cycling. I would attach subjective meaning. I'm going for some purpose to somewhere, so I'm attaching meaning. Acting individual takes into account the behavior of others. When I'm cycling, I am also conscious of other people on the road. I'm also thinking what other people might be thinking about me. I would drive in a particular way I would wear a cloth, track suit. So I'm taking into, while I'm going to a park, I'm taking into account the behavior of other. And this action is oriented in course, as right in the beginning I said that I'm going to some place, some destination for some purpose, for jogging, running, meeting friend or something. So this is the definition of social action according to Max Weber. Max Weber further emphasizes this point. He says that meaning does not refer to any objectively correct meaning or one which is true in some metaphysical sense. Meaning does not mean that that is true in some objective sense. Um it is the meaning which I attach to that action. The meaning which I attach to cycling might be for while you are looking at me, seeing me that I'm cycling, so you might be thinking something else. Another person who is driving and coming to my colony and he sees me going to the park, he might think something else. So we are not talking about some objectively correct meaning, but we are talking about the meaning which the individual who is performing that task, he attaches meaning to his action. Weber also talks about use the term non-meaningful behavior. So what are those? He is trying to distinguish from the meaningful action with non-meaningful action, non-meaningful behavior. They are as reactive behavior to which no subjective meaning is attached. So the actor may not attach any kind of meaning to those kind of behavior, and those are reactive behavior. So these behavior complexes by actor were subject of sociological analysis. If you read the writings of Max Weber, you find that such behavior complexes were the subject of sociological analysis in his theories, in his book, in his whole sociological writing. Now let us see what are the types of social actions as per Weber classifies social action into four types, and we will see one by one. The first type of action is Zweig rational action. It is can call it rational action to a goal. We can take the example of an engineer, or the example which I was talking about earlier of a person's going to a park for jogging. So this is a rational action, and there is a goal to that action, and the person is going to the park for some purpose, some action, and that is rational, which you can understand, I can understand. So this is rational action. The second type of action is what rational action, and it is also rational action, but this action is rational in context to a value. We can take the example of the action of a soldier. One may wonder that why a soldier would be ready to fight and die for the motherland. So the action of the soldier is rational in context of value of love for the country, value of the nation first, value of unity and integrity of the country. So the soldier stands for that, and he says that, and you will find if he fights, if he dies, if he loses life, if he loses limbs, you will see that his action is perfectly rational in context to the value. Next, a third type of action is affective action. This is an action which is emotional action. So this here we can take the example of a girl who is teased. She becomes angry. She takes action. She slaps a person, Eve teaser, and we can this kind of action is emotional action. The fourth and the last type of action is traditional action. The example of a greeting, pranam, by a person. So it is a customary action. So this is the fourth type of action. Last point Weber says in his theory is that a correct causal interpretation of a concrete course of action. So the causal interpretation of any social action is arrived when it is arrived. When we do know that one action has been done for this purpose, it is arrived, it is known when the overt action and the motive have been correctly apprehended. When we understand the motive of the action, what is the motive behind that action, when it is correctly understood, then we understand correct causal interpretation of the action, and at the same time their relation. We also understand the relation of that action maybe with other action. So when it is meaningfully comprehensible, then we can say that a correct causal interpretation of the action has been done. So this is it about the theory of. So there are different points. If they are elaborated, if you write a lot about those points, then each line can be expanded in around 50 words or more than that, and then we can have an answer of around 300 words with this. So what are the criticisms of the this theory of social action by Max Weber? So one thing is that he emphasizes individual action, social action to explain social reality. Suppose what reality of suicide, there is social reality of violence, reality of divorce. So how does that sociologically he does starting with the individual social action. So, but other socialists, other theorists, they emphasize their structure. They start with the system. They start with the bigger thing like caste system, like family system. They do not start with the individual action. So that is the difference. Socialist Alfred Schulz, he criticizes Max Weber, and he says that Weber fails to show how actors' meaning are socially constructed. When the actor is giving meaning to his action, or his action is meaningful, actually this action is socially constructed, and Weber in his theory does not talk about that. Theorists also ask that when individual is performing a social action and giving meaning to an action, to what extent he has freedom in doing that social action. Actually, individuals do not have freedom. We all are constrained by society, by its values, by its expectation. It is not that I am free and I am free to perform social action. So Weber does not talk about the constraint which an individual have in society while he is performing a social action. For Weber, the individual constituted the only social reality. His social action is constituting social reality. So there are other concepts and collective concepts like state and society. So Weber was opposed to the use of these collective concepts. So that is a shortcoming in his theory. Moreover, if you take Weber's empirical work, you will find that they are more concerned to elucidate the structural determinants of social action than the meanings. While Weber is talking about the meaning of social action, if you read his work, you will find that he is more concerned with in his theories, in his writings, he is more concerned with structural determinants of social action. So, what a structure what a structure is determining that social action. So his theory is more concerned with that, while he's talking mainly in his theory of social action about the meaning which an individual gives to his social action. So these are some of the criticisms of Weber's theory of social action. So thank you very much, dear friends, for watching this video.